be that person even when you don't want to. Or when that kid, you're like, oh, I don't want to associate myself with that person. Maybe that's for your opportunity and your blessing to be that mentor, to give them those words, to give them that help. And they may not see it or appreciate it now, but like me, maybe a few years later, I'm going to sit back and go, oh, they'll sit back and go, man, this person really blessed me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chat with Charlie. We are so excited to have Kennen here with us today. Thank you, Kennen, for being here.
I'm your brother.
Okay.
That's it.
I like it.
All day.
I like it. Family first. Hello, it's Charlie, your go-to for mastering the art of public speaking and career advancement. Welcome to Chat with Charlie, where industry professionals share their invaluable insights and advice to help you excel within your desired industry. Get ready to dive deep into the minds of accomplished individuals as they unravel strategies, share personal experiences, and provide actionable tips that you won't get anywhere else. I really want to start this off to get us kind of relaxed and chill with a public speaking game.
Okay. All right. What do you have?
Are you willing to play a game with me?
I'm playing. I'm going to win more than likely. This is what I do, but let's go.
When you say you gonna win, then that means somebody in the room gotta lose. Who's that person?
If it's only me and you, all right, you're a very intelligent woman. I'm gonna let you figure out the rest.
Okay. Well, we have this envelope.
All right.
Tell us the history of.
Okay.
You're going to draw a topic,
Okay.
and you are going to talk for as long as you can about the history of the topic you chose.
Ooh.
Does it have to be factual? No. The key is to just keep talking until you can't talk anymore, and then we'll stop. Which is roughly about 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, tell us the history of. You ready?
Yes.
All right, draw your topic. Tell the people what it is.
A red rag to a bull.
All right, tell us the history of a red rag to the bull.
Okay, so what happened was really in the history of this, right? From what I've learned and understood was, once upon a time there was a young bull, and so that bull had a mom, and so they had a real mean owner of that bull. So that owner of that bull used to sit there, and once mom get out of line to do certain things, then that bull would sit there, and the owner would come and just whip the bull with a red bandana. So all of a sudden, really with the history of that, the bull's been traumatized by watching his mom get corrected and beat with a red bandana. And people made a sport out of it. They just ended up picking the wrong bull. And that's how the history became, because now the bull in the arena was seeing some people, and all of a sudden, bam, you pull out a red bandana. So the bull like, oh, you trying to spank me.
I'm actually feeling traumatized right now.
Hey, this is a traumatizing event, man. This red bandana thing is serious with this bull.
What made you go to, we're spanking the bull?
Hey, man, it's a traumatizing event. You asked me to tell you the history of. I'm giving you the history of. This is why the bull hates the red rag.
Because his mama got a spanking with the red bandana.
With a red bandana.
I'm done with you.
This is it. Now you know. I'm glad I can educate y'all. Say that for your history and your lesson.
I'm not gonna lie, Kitty, you killed that.
Yeah, easy, sis, easy.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to educate you.
That was good. I'm over here about to probably Google this tonight to find out the real history. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get into the reason why most people are tuning in.
Okay.
We appreciate y'all being here today. And that's really to talk about your industry. So can you tell us about your background and how you started in your industry?
All right, so my background really is I am born and raised in Beaumont, Texas. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. I have my mom and dad in the home. We didn't grow up in like the richest environments and things like that, so we did learn struggle. Where I'm born and raised, we have plants, refinery industry, oil and gas industry, what we do down here in Texas and along the Gulf Coast. So growing up in that, and then I would say going to college from there, and then really I'm the first one to go to college. My family's not there, so I didn't have that guidance, understanding, so I went to college, and then of course I enjoyed college a little bit too much, so I was in college a lot longer than I needed to be, but you know, at the end of the day, everything's for its time and reason, and not according to your plan, then you bump your head, you fall, but you get back up and keep going. I was in college, I was flunking out of college, partying, I'm seeing my friends grow, do things and doing some good stuff, so I'm going, okay then, what do I do now? All my friends were successful at that time. All of them doing major things, going to large colleges, doing good things. I'm like, friends, I can't be the bum out the group, and I have to change my life. And so really, I started off, I went from engineering, I was having a hard time, and then I changed to chemistry. And the only reason with my initial degree I changed to chemistry because I was like, I always like to be different, go against the grain status quo. So I did graduate with my chemistry degree and ended up going right back to school because you just don't see a lot of black people, or even in my classes, a lot of black people that was getting chemistry degrees. So I wanted to do something different. And so then I went back to school and I could do something to go back and help my community. Something that I grew up with that impacted me where I lived and how I grew up. So I said, I'll go back and do this. And so went back and ended up going to school still while I'm interning to get my master's in environmental engineering. And so that's kind of how I went from there. And then I went to Tennessee. Once I came out of school, it was around the time that it was a recession in the U.S. So this is like 2010, 2011 time frame with my master's. People are getting fired left and right, losing their jobs. So I had a headhunter end up getting me a job in Tennessee. And this is my first time moving away from home out of Texas. And so I did that. And so that was a crazy experience for me being able, this is my first career finally, and I got my title. I'm an environmental engineer. All you need, everybody says, get that title, get that name behind you. And so that was important to me and a great opportunity. And when I came back to Texas, still being an environmental engineer, doing that, and I worked for a company in Orange for a few years, which is more experience. And then after that, I was like, I started learning once you're in the industry, you're not stuck where you are. There's so many opportunities, even though you went to school for this, there's so many opportunities once you're in the door. You learn about so many other careers and you go, hey, I might be able to transfer my skills and do this. So I want to learn how to do that. So you can follow people, job shadow, get other opportunities. And so the opportunity came, I interviewed, and came into my current company where I was a senior logistics specialist. So leaving behind chemistry, leaving behind environmental engineering, and going into now the business sector. I work with other people, and now from technical to more business like atmosphere. So that was an opportunity for me really to change and spark my career to other things, and to where I'm at now, which I'm out of that industry and doing procurement. So it's another business role. I've been doing it for 4 years, getting that opportunity with this company and really learning about contracts, negotiating what people need, being customer focused to the people that I'm working with, because my co-workers are now my customers, supplying them the things that they need, and then being that mediator between them and other companies.
Wow.
So here we are.
That's a great story. The fear of failure can keep you from reaching your full potential. No one is perfect. So learn to embrace failure to reduce the potential impact of your mistakes. To be honest, I'm over here really trying to navigate through it because it's so impressive that it sounds to me like you changed career paths within the same industry.
Yes.
Wow. So you went from environmental engineer to a strategist?
Senior logistics specialist. So
Okay.
it's basically kind of more logistics, business planning, how you're going to operate the business.
And now you're in procurement.
And now I'm in
I
procurement.
can't even spell procurement, but it sounds good.
Yes.
Now, thank you for sharing that. That's fantastic. So what motivated you? You kind of mentioned it a little bit and you want to do something different, but if you could just sum it up in a quick way, what motivated you to pursue this particular career field?
Motivated me was just being different. And then the biggest motivation, besides now having somebody to provide for and needing to make a change for my life, the next motivation was really where I grew up. I looked at this every day. I know what the impact it had on my community. I know that in this, I get to make a difference for my community because a lot of refinery industries are real close to economic deficient neighborhoods. And so, to be able to work in a place where I can be of help, be of service, or I am that person that's making an impact from where I come from, protecting that environment, then it meant a lot to me.
Wow, I like that. Thank you. So now let's kind of switch gears and talk about industry trends and some of the insight that you have on your particular industry. What are current trends and developments in your industry now?
All right, so in my industry now, I would say a lot of it is technology, of course. AI, technology is taking over everywhere. So, really understanding and learning technology and how you could create platforms or create different things that could be a service to ease the process of the business.
Right.
That is a major thing in that, but that's probably really where the industry is going, because the industry is always going to be there. It changes, it fluctuates with the laws. then new products. And if it's not that, the next big thing I would say is sustainability. Sustainability is kind of what the government is pushing on companies to reduce carbon effect to the atmosphere. Still kind of like environmental, but it's looking for ways that you make your company run more efficiency and less impact on the environment.
Okay.
You know, how can we reduce our waste? How can we reduce our water usage? How can we be more energy efficient? How can we have less of an environmental impact? So sustainability of how companies and challenging your company and as well as other companies to do that is a big thing right now.
That's good. I'm feeling a little bit guilty right now as you're talking about that because I'm not really sure if I recycle like I should.
Oh.
But I feel like after this conversation, I'm gonna put a recycle bin.
Well, that's why when you come to my house, you see my regular garbage can and my recycled garbage can.
You're not
I tell them about it all the time.
You're not helping me feeling guilty right now. You're adding to my anxiety here, but I'm gonna do better.
It's all right.
Okay.
No. I mean, you live and you learn. You understand the importance of it. So if you have the opportunity, if your community does it, like we have recycled garbage cans. I don't know if y'all do or not in this neighborhood, but if you do, take full advantage of it because that means your neighborhood is trying to do something positive and reduce that waste and recycling. So recycling is a very important thing.
That's good. I'm learning something.
Hey,
I have the recycle big trash can. At least give it credit. So how do you stay updated and continue to learn in your industry? Within your role?
In my industry, I'm really just working connections. They do free trainings, really learning the tools that they're creating and familiarizing yourself with it when you can. Because if you can become more efficient with that, then you can be, keeping up with the business as it's transitioning. Because I mean, these younger kids are coming in and they come with iPads out the womb. So they're using technology every day. They're doing those things, not just iPads, just saying technology. And
Did
so
you say they come out the womb with an iPad?
Yeah, just kidding. Yes. No, don't feel bad. We all are doing it. It's not a person. Yeah, everybody's doing it. I see kids in the grocery store or at the restaurant at the table with them. So I mean, we've all done it. But so they're really technology. They're learning it real fast. They're up to date on it. So making sure your kids are early involved with technology engagement, but really me trying to keep up because I've seen kids or interns coming to school and I'm like working. I'm like, this kid is amazing. Or built this program, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this kid is a problem. You know, so it's really important to be up to date with your technology and things that's going on.
That's good. It's definitely something that I think most industries is getting affected by.
Correct.
Right? Technology is ever evolving, and I actually am impressed that you're saying students are coming on board and their technology game is just really impressive because as an educator, that's what we want. Right? We want to push out kids that could do bigger and better things than we can.
And well, I would say since we are as a people, we have to make sure our kids are doing it.
Right.
They come out with technology, Facebook and things like that, but they have to learn the real technology.
Right.
What's making Facebook work? What's making Twitch work? All those things, or how to program that, or how to be involved with it. And I think that's where our kids lag behind because there's schools that focus on that. There's school that those kids come out of, they're making them use that or do that every day in their school right now. They're public schools, not even private schools.
Yeah, that's the coding.
It's the coding and things like that. So the kids are not taking advantage of it or just doing the stuff at home, then we're in a situation right there where, they're falling behind because other kids are really doing it, or which is at an economic advantage in being able to have access to that type of stuff.
Right. So what skills have you found vital to your job? We're kind of switching gears now to your expertise and your experience. Are there any particular skills that you think, besides, I think you just shared technology?
Really communication. Communication and being able to talk. Communication is the problem in marriages and relationships or in the streets every day. Communication is the same thing as work. Being able to take a second to understand what a person's asking you so that when they ask that question, you really can do it, or saying, hey, clarify what you're saying so I can understand it and not taking it the wrong way, or really make sure you're not wasting time on the wrong thing. But communicating and building relationships. I think relationships in industry and it's very important that people really underestimate that. So I think we get caught up in this, have to work from home and want to be isolated and by myself. And I think especially being people like you and I who like to communicate, talk to people and be involved, I think that is a huge thing that we're losing out on right now, is that we're really not focusing on communication and building a relationship for.
That's good.
And the last thing is just being true, honest and true to you and to what's right. So
when you say honest and true to you and what's right, I kind of want to take some time and stay in that space for a minute. Could you elaborate on what you mean by that? Because that seems like that might be a very powerful message.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you work in the industry sometimes, you can get around some environments that might be uncomfortable. Or when you work in the industry, you can be in an environment where they try to influence you to be something different or communicate or go a different direction from who you really are. So if you know it's not right sometimes, even if it's a person that's above you, if you have the right time and place for everything, you can communicate, hey, I draw the line right there. That's not me. Violation or, you know, that's still not the way I do things. Because there's still people in the industry that's going to test you. And whether it's friend or foe, they're going to test you to see where does your limits or your boundaries reach. And then sometimes you have to show them that you'll call them out on it or be honest about it. Because if you stay true to you and real values and doing the right thing, then it'll work out for you. Even if it's not meant there or they try to take it the wrong way, as long as you know that you did what was right and was true to you and your values, then everything's good from there.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. So as we're talking with that, what organizational challenges do you face in your industry? If there are any, you know.
Organizational challenges. I would say
in the actual industry.
They don't know how to deal. A lot of companies don't know how to deal with diversity. The D&I thing is real huge. You got the government and other things trying to stop it right now because whenever they understand there's a real disadvantage, and then you try to even that, they get the industry. Some people don't want that. But I would say really understanding, because if they try, but then from their perspective they're trying and don't know how to do it, then you're stuck. You're stuck in the same position in the same place. And so really not having that growth or showing the people in your company that you really do want to change and the things that they're telling you or seeing is really elevated from top to bottom, and not saying top and skip to the bottom, but top through middle management on down and then get to where it needs to get, then you're building a process. But right now, I think the biggest thing is the middle management. You know, if you're not in the field every day and understanding the culture, understanding what's really going on and you're blind to it or you're just telling it but you don't see it, then you're really not, the process stops somewhere. It's getting stifled somewhere. So really just standing behind what you're saying you're trying to do is a very important thing in the industry for what's going on right now, because the culture is changing, the world is changing. And so when people see that, then you want to stay with a company, you want to work for a company, you want to be there. And then that company really supports you and you feel like that. So I think companies balancing that right and making everybody feel equal, but also making other people understand that, hey, we're not disregarding you, or we're saying like, we're trying to get a head count. We're saying there has been a real, true, unfair advantage in the industry or in business, and the numbers are here to prove it, to represent what's going on in our economy, to represent what's going on in the world. We have to make changes to give everybody our opportunity. Or saying for our business to continue to keep up with culture, keep up with the environment, then we have to make a change. And so, you know, to get those things, and I'm not saying it's not possible, because I mean, you look at the companies around here, there are companies and there are people that, multiple people you see moving up, getting opportunities, growing, and you see companies putting money behind what they're saying and advancing it. So I think just showing that, but then following up with it is a very important thing for companies. But I think that is one of the main things I say with companies right now, because it's a real hot topic. And so how do you address that? How do you face it, or how do you support it and still get the message across, right? So if I want to believe in my company and feel included, I want to see the action behind it. So
it's another reason why I'm so excited to have you here today, because you're a walking testimony.
Correct.
Right? So I'm very excited that the representation that you give for people is dynamic, and it's going to empower so many. So I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
So what keeps you motivated and passionate about your work? I know that you shared a lot about how you were raised. And so I'm not sure if those two things are linked or not, but what keeps you motivated to continue to do the work within your field?
Couple of things. First of all, of course, it's family, right? Family's important. You guys, when you go home, you see what's important to take care of that, provide for that. That's a very important thing. It's something that needs to be done. But then I think the next thing is opportunity. And it's not opportunity for me because I'm there, even though I want more opportunity for those that come behind me. Because there were people along my life and in my career path that helped me with my opportunities, that developed me with my opportunities. And not all of them are African Americans. Don't get it that there's people out there who want to help you on both sides of the spectrum and creating those allies or people who genuinely want to give people an opportunity. And so having that opportunity and really recognizing that and then saying, okay, then I'm glad I made it. But there's a kid out there who doesn't have the opportunities or not in the right atmosphere. So if I get a kid that's trying or want an opportunity, if I can help or create a platform where they can come behind me and then get themselves out of their situation. Everybody wants to get out of the situation they're in for a better life. There's so many kids out there, so many people who, man, we can't even fathom what they go through every day. Like what they go through. You've been in education, so you've seen the kids, you've heard the stories, you know, and you're like, man, this kid is going through this at home every day or living in this environment. So when I see a kid that's trying to and they came from the same situation, I understand that, then I'm like, I want to make it easier for you. I want to be here getting them so that you can have an opportunity. I want to say that I want to make sure my company gives you an opportunity. And then for the company to understand, hey, they may not be perfect because we're judged on a quick scale than everybody else. Even if they make mistakes, there's people who make mistakes every day, but you're training that person. They're trying to learn to deal with this environment. They're trying to learn how to handle this culture. And they're trying to give themselves the best opportunity they can. So we want to make sure they're successful. We want to make sure so when they come, I'm looking to try to help a kid that's been in my shoes. Because I had people do that to me. Tell them, hey, you don't want to do this. Or you want to try to do this. Focus on this. Those things that people did, pulling me to the side and making me get right. It helped me have longevity in my career and my opportunities. It's really important to me. So if I can make it better for the person, because that person might make it better for my daughter, for my daughters, right? For your kids to say that because I gave them an opportunity, impacted them, their lives, or they're in the industry, if my kid or somebody else's kid wants it, they're going to say, I owe that to give back and do the same thing. And so that's what's important.
That's good. It's all cyclical.
It's all a cycle, man.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it's growing,
Right.
giving people more opportunities
Right.
as the industry grows and opens up more.
I agree. And that's what makes a lot of us have so much fun in the work that we're doing when we're able to serve others and
Correct.
give back, right?
Yes.
Same exact opportunities that I received. I feel the same way that you feel. A lot of why I do what I do is because someone once did it for me.
Correct.
And
Yep.
so, and I do want to say thank you. And so that's a part of this whole podcast,
Yes.
right? Everybody doesn't have a homeboy that they can call up and say, hey, can you help out the people and talk about your journey?
Correct.
And so everybody doesn't have a homegirl that you can call and do that with. And so I'm hoping that this podcast is that homegirl and homeboy
Correct.
for people that may not have that person, bringing it to their own living room. So I appreciate you circling back and doing
Right.
that. You're definitely living in your vision. So we're almost kind of wrapping it up here. Just have a few more questions.
All right. I'm ready.
Yeah. This one may take you a second, so it's okay to kind of collect your thoughts.
Okay.
But if you could do it all over again, would you do anything differently? And if so, what would that be? To get you where you are today in your industry, is there anything that you would do differently?
It's things, I wouldn't have to think about this. It's things I would do differently. I mean, I would say just some of my work ethic on some things. I would say better understanding of relationships and building those allies and networking. But from the years, even in college, when I flunked out for a little while, going back, all that really led to where I'm at today. And so you can't really be mad at your past if you're blessed to be where you are right now. And so I can't be mad at those mistakes or those opportunities because in all those opportunities, man, I look back and was some real lessons. Real lessons that made me who I am. And then now I'm strong enough to tell my daughters that it's going to be lessons. And then the biggest thing I tell anybody, it's a mental game. And if your mind is strong enough to beat it, if your mind and your will is strong enough to fall, to hit rock bottom. I flunked out of college. I got laid off or fired from a job before, and I got a wife and kids, right? I'm sitting at home with that, or really just in some tough situations. But if you can keep your head about you when all others are losing theirs, I mean, how strong is that, right? If you can just fight your will and mind. And that's the strongest, that's the thing I tell anybody, because, man, just because those instances and being able to come from that and say, man, I flunked out of college. But from that, it might have took me longer, but I went back and got my bachelor's and turned around and got my master's.
Right. You didn't give up.
I didn't give up. I had to pay a lot of money, get some extra student loans, but here I am, financially able to take care of my family, in a career, being an example, being able to talk to you, right? Those things that put me in, meeting your husband, right? Meeting my wife. Those later years allow me to be there to meet those people, right? To be where I'm at today and have the lessons that built me to who the man I am today allow me to talk to you about these things. Just say, I've been there. Right. I know the lesson. I know it's real. So
really, we could just say you owe everything to the wife.
Yes, I do. Yes, I definitely do. Everything.
I'm trying to get you brownie points.
Yes, I caught it. You see how I caught that?
I did.
Yes, I do everything. Yes, you correct.
I Steph Curry.
Yes, I got it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Stop.
You're right.
Okay. And so then just to end, which I almost don't want this to be over because I'm getting so blessed by this conversation, but what advice, which I feel like you've given us so much throughout it, but if you could just close today's podcast, what advice would you give someone interested in entering your industry? If they wanted to enter it today, what advice would you give them?
Stay determined. Listen to the things I say. Build networks, communicate, be a hard worker that shows something. And then in that, build allies. And I'm not just saying African-American allies and say, I gotta have my people with me. Because the world is filled with different people that can help you, want to help you, and building those relationships in business or whatever. Build relationships, have a good reputation about yourself. And then once you get in there, work hard. Don't get determined, because every manager is not the manager for you. Every manager is not the manager for you. Every career is not the career for you. You've been in different roles. You try different things. I've been in different roles. And learning yourself, because we evolve. And every evolution is a new stage of learning, a new opportunity. And then you see something else, and like, oh, there's another opportunity. There's another evolvement. And so do those things and evolve, and then chase those, and just don't give up. That's the biggest thing. And so I know we're trying to wrap up, but it's something that I have to say and I want to talk about. Yeah. I want to give credit, like I said, throughout my career. It was something that's very important. In those falls, there's always people along the way. In every job I've been blessed to have. God has always put somebody there to help me and advise me along the way. To give me advice, to support me. I've always had that angel in the time that I've needed that. Has been very important to me. And so when I was in Tennessee, that was my first time ever away from my family, moving away from home. It was just me and my dog. It was just me and my dog.
I feel like that could be a song.
And so just me and my dog. And that was like a tough time for me. But when I was there, I had a black lady that worked there. And she was like, being like a mother. She's like, let me tell you, I go to church here. I'm going to bring you to church with me. I go to church. You need some family. I mean, she took me to church with her. She fed me on Sundays. She taught me about the community, anything I needed at work. She gave me advice. When I didn't have family and I was like nervous, God found a person to put that gave me that family. That gave me that advice, that figure that helped me to get me through that time. So I call today and still talking, checking with her. Yeah. In my intern, when I was young, I had a guy named Robert Cheatham. I still friends with him today. His family and his wife is great friends and a mentor to my wife. It's just so happened to come together later. But he was a guy who was like, hey man, you want to have your shirt tucked in. Yeah. You want to present yourself like this. You want to do this. And I could go talk to him about anything. Or he telling me about the job, and I'm saying that name because he's important to me. These people along my career, I've learned, I'm like, man, this person was there and helped me to be the person I'm trying to be today. He giving me that advice, and you young, you just seeing it, but now I'm like, this dude is mentoring me. Right. He on his own took me in and mentored me, giving me advice, supported me. He was a friend, he was a mentor, and I'm looking back like, man, that's another person God put in my life at that time. Then when I came back to Texas and I worked another job, there was a guy named Durham Poindexter. And I've never even talked to him, but Durham Poindexter. This guy here, Durham Poindexter, when I worked at this job, I was an environmental engineer. And him and I were, I think, the only African Americans in the group, but we had very dominant roles and positions. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't as efficient as I needed to be in understanding how to be an environmental engineer. This guy took me in, he had something as a son and as a mentor. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, you need to take this book, you need to go study it. I'm going to test you on it Thursday. Wow. You need to make sure you understand it. What the rules, what are you responsible for? You're responsible for this. You need to learn this. You need to talk about this. You need to make sure you understand that. You're responsible for this. Right. And I didn't understand. I'm like, this dude here. I said, I appreciate it. He said, you want to have a job? Don't you got a daughter? Don't you have a family to take care of? He said, hey, you need to learn this. And I mean, he made me go learn the regulations that I was responsible for. I look back like, man, this dude saved me. Mm-hmm. This dude saved my career. Mm-hmm. This dude was a mentor for me. Wow. He took me under his wing and really made sure I understand what I had to do this job and forced me to learn it like a teacher, like a big brother or something. But he was there. And so I'm like, everywhere I went, there was somebody there to help me, to mentor me in a way that I needed to be to help me advance. And I was like, don't I owe that to somebody? Wow. Don't I owe that experience? Don't I need to do the same thing to somebody that I can change their life in the future? Mm-hmm. That I can make an impact on them? Mm-hmm. Or I can help them to take care of their family, to keep a career, to be able to grow and blossom to wherever they need to be. I mean, this dude was my English teacher. He said he had a stuttering problem. Mm-hmm. And I'm from the South. I'm country, and I mean, English is not, so sometimes like, you might hear this thing, I mean, but that. And he say, you say that or facts? Mm-hmm. You say that or facts? Mm-hmm. And little things I would say would annoy him, and he would say, and I'm like, so I'm in a room with him, and we talking, I'm looking like, I'm trying to remember to say this correctly, mm-hmm. but he wanted me to be professional. Right. And I just look back and I'm like, man, this was a blessing. Mm-hmm. This was something that impacted me in so much way, and I owe so much to that guy as well. Mm-hmm. And so it's just places I go and people I meet along the way that I realize have been guardian angels, been mentors, mm-hmm. been people. And so when you say, why do I do this? Why am I? That's why. Mm-hmm. I have to mm-hmm. go back and help somebody else. I see kids that's coming from the same situation. I'm like, hey, make sure you talk like that. We on a meeting. Don't just talk like that. Say this. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have something to say in a positive way and then leave it there. Wow. Or in a good impact business way, leave it there. Make sure you communicate. Make sure you go talk to them. It's just so much, and so I'm happy about that and grateful. And so that's my message to everyone. And I just couldn't leave here without talking to them. I couldn't leave here without leaving that message, because somebody, I think, watching this show and somebody that wants to be in this industry, when somebody come to you, you got to be able to accept it. Mm-hmm. And not say that a person is being mean to you, a person is being rude, or they got an attitude, or you're not my daddy, you're not my mama, you're not my boss. But understand that maybe within that, somebody is trying to do something to help you. Somebody is really wanting to bless you. And sometimes you don't see it till later. But take advantage of it. And then for those that are out there that's in the position to help, be that person. Be that person, even when you don't want to. Or when that kid, you're like, oh, I don't want to associate myself with that person. Maybe that's for your opportunity and your blessing to be that mentor, to give them those words, to give them that help. And they may not see it or appreciate it now, but like me, maybe a few years later, I'm going to sit back and go, oh, they'll see me and go, man, this person really blessed me. This person saved me to be where I am right now. This person kept me with a job to be able to provide my family. It taught me how to navigate this industry. And that's very important.
Kennen, I feel like we might need to change the name of the podcast. I thought we were chatting with Charli, but Kennen, you just blessed all of us. I was thinking, half part of me wanted to grab a tissue, and I was starting to get a little teared up, but I had to keep telling myself, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Because, my goodness, to hear the passion that's in your voice, to give thanks for the people that have helped you along the way, mm-hmm. that's huge. There's a lot of people out there that don't know how to simply say thank you. Yeah. And listening to you share your story, share your passion, right. That's dynamic. And that's powerful to all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes that's all we need.
It's all we need.
Sometimes
We just don't know it.
We just need someone who can take us under their wing, give us a couple extra minutes, and just show that they care.
Yep.
And so I really am moved by your message. I appreciate the way that you ended today's podcast.
Yep.
I think half of us need to go grab Kleenexes and try to pat our face because God is so good and just listening to you, it resonates in everything that you do. So I wish you continued success. I appreciate you coming on today's podcast, and I look forward to seeing you all be successful and then to continue to see your success. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for creating this platform. Thank you for using your vision. Thank you for this opportunity. This is my first podcast.
We did it.
Yes. So I'm happy. I'm grateful to be a part of this. I'm just so happy. And I thank you. And I'm proud of you. This is going to be such a great success.
Thank you so much.
All right, sis.
And that wraps up another episode of Chat with Charli. Thank you all so much for joining me today as we explore various topics aimed to help you take your career to new heights. I hope you found today's discussion valuable and insightful. Remember, growth comes from continuous learning and taking actionable steps towards your goals. I'd love to hear from you all about today's content, so connect with me on social media at Lennon Prep and leave a comment or question to keep this chat going. Be sure to tune in to next week's episode where we'll dive deep into the minds of another industry professional. It's going to be another informative and engaging conversation that you won't want to miss. And if you like Chat with Charli, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support means the world to me and helps us reach more people ready to level up their expertise. Thank you again for being a part of our career advancement journey. And remember, strive for excellence, not perfection. Keep pushing forward and never stop investing in yourself. Until next time, bye.